Hello friend, welcome back to another episode. Today I'm going to be diving headfirst into the wonderful world of motivation. Now we've all been looking for that secret sauce to get our fire burning bright and never let that motivation fade, but many of us have way more experience watching that fire fizzle out faster than an expired sparkler than actually maintaining it. And all of that leaves us feeling the complete opposite of motivated. We feel completely unmotivated. So if it makes you feel any better, you're not actually unmotivated, you are simply delusional. Fear not, the first step to recovery is admitting that we have a problem. So if staying motivated is something that you're very eager to master, then this episode is for you. I'll be talking about how to discard unhelpful expectations around motivation and how we can get into the right mindset when it comes to motivation using the rule of thirds and what we can learn from an Olympic athlete. Now, the first thing that you caught is that I said that we're delusional. Let me explain what I mean by that. When we are pursuing any kind of like a personal endeavor, we are very excited. The idea that we're going to be achieving certain things, we are off daydreaming about what that's going to be like, crossing the finish line, whatever that looks like for you. And while we're in that planning stage, we are excited. We are vowing to ourselves that no matter what, I'm going to see this through. This motivation will never fade. I know what I'm doing. And then somehow when we start doing things, we should maintain that motivation, but we don't. It fizzles out and we wind up feeling like something is wrong. The reason why we're struggling to maintain that motivation, there's a few reasons, but the one I want to talk about today is that we are hopeless romantics. As a hopeless romantic, you would think that love is all I need to make it work. If I find that person for me, it's never gonna be difficult. We're gonna find that spark, it's gonna be instant and it's never gonna fade away. Now, although beautiful, anyone who's been in a relationship for more than 5 minutes knows that the idea that the spark is never gonna fade away or that it's never gonna be work if you're with the right person, we all know that that is not quite true. Although it can be extremely wonderful, it does take extra work and you might love somebody with all your heart and there's still gonna be days when you don't really like them that much. So if we take that same idea that you're looking for that spark that's never going to fade, it's just going to be there no matter what. When that spark starts to fade, you start to take that as a sign that maybe I'm not doing the right thing. So when we're doing personal endeavors, we're making some changes, we're embarking on some kind of a journey that we think is going to, lead to some kind of a big positive thing in our lives, we take that same attitude with us. We think that if I just pick the right thing, I'm going to be so motivated to do it, I'm never going to not want to do it. It's always going to feel great. And it's because I want it bad enough that it's never going to feel like work to me. So when we are starting and it doesn't feel exciting and it feels difficult and you're like, this isn't even rewarding, instead of saying, hey, you know what, I'm sure this is just part of it because everything I do in my life kind of has some ups and downs, we think that somehow we're doing something wrong or maybe this just isn't for me. If you really think about it, there is nothing that you have done in your life that's difficult, that has always felt incredible in your life. Nothing. You go to school because you committed and you're like, I paid some money and I gotta see this through. We go to work even though we don't feel like doing it, we still do it. Yet when it comes to our personal endeavors, this is just my personal thing, I think it's because it's something that we do completely by ourselves for ourselves. It's like we are the ones that make the decision to do something that we just think that it's because I want it and it's for me that I'm always going to feel like doing it. And so the first thing I want to tell you is that we need to be realistic with the expectations of what it's going to feel like. So I recently watched an interview, Rich Roll. I don't know if you guys watched that one. It's really good. He has all these interviews with people that are kind of at the top of their game in their fields, and he's a long distance triathlon endurance athlete and stuff. So he brings a lot of people that are more like sports related on there. And so he recently had a Olympic athlete, Alexis. She is a Greek-American runner. She was in the Summer Olympics 2016. She set a record for like 10K runs or something like that in Greece or whatever, I don't know. She was on there and she was talking about the struggles while she was preparing for the Olympics, and she was talking about a particularly tough training session that she had that left her feeling kind of unmotivated, disappointed, and just like stuck and struggling to move forward in her training. And her coach pulled her aside and he told her about the rule of thirds. And he said, when you're chasing a dream, you're only meant to feel great 1/3 of the time. You're meant to feel okay 1/3 of the time, and you're meant to feel crappy 1/3 of the time. And if you can maintain that ratio, you're actually doing everything right. It says if you are feeling too good most of the time, then probably what you're pursuing is way too easy for you. And if it feels crappy most of the time, then you're probably doing something that's way too difficult for you. Now, that didn't improve her training session per se, but it helped her shift that mindset that she's always supposed to progress linearly. Like every time she shows up, it's supposed to somehow be better than the last time that she went. And she'll always want to do it because she wants to be in the Olympics. She wants to pursue this dream. And because she wants this dream so bad, it should never feel bad. And she's like, once I heard him say that, it helped me feel better about the days that didn't feel good. And she's like, this is completely normal. I'm meant to feel crappy some of the time. So although we are not Olympic athletes, nor are we training the way an Olympic athlete does, I still think we can take some parallels out of that message and apply to our own lives. The idea that you're going to feel motivated all the time, or that it's going to feel great all of the time, is straight up delusional. It's a fairy tale. And so just like she had that mindset shift, my advice for you is have that shift in your head where you have realistic expectations of the motivational levels you can expect out of yourself and how good it's gonna feel. It's not going to feel great every single day. Your progress isn't going to be linear, which means like, oh, every time I do it, I'm just going to keep getting better and better and better. You're going to have setbacks, and that's normal. You're going to have days when you don't feel like doing anything, and that's normal too. You didn't do anything wrong. That's just the waves of everything. In fact, that stretch of time is opportunity to train your discipline muscle. Discipline is doing what you said you would do, even when you don't feel like doing it. It teaches you to rely on that word, on the commitment that you gave yourself, that I said I was going to do this, not relying on the mood that you're in to dictate whether you're going to do it. So these opportunities are there to help you strengthen all of the muscles that you need to get you through the tough times, so like when things are easy, you can just kind of like go with the flow. My second piece of advice for you is, because things are not always going to feel great, you're going to have times when you're doubting what you're doing. You're going to have times when you're just feeling so discouraged. It's important that you find your why. I know this line is so cliche already. You need to find your why. You need to find like the deep, meaningful purpose in your life. You just need to answer the question, why am I doing this? Because on those days when you're like, why am I fucking doing this? You need to have some kind of an answer. It needs to be more than just some kind of a, like, in 6 months from now, I want to do X. Why am I doing this today? And although this is a big topic, we'll dive into this in another episode. Think about that. Think about, why am I doing this? Or why do I need to get this done? And if you're not sure, the first thing that pops into your mind, go with that. Whatever that instinct is that you have, it doesn't matter what it is. It can be pretty, it can be ugly, it doesn't matter. It's yours. And as long as it's meaningful to you, that's all that matters. You should go run with that. If you're not sure, just continue to ask why. Whatever answer you come up with, be like, well, why? Why does that matter? Why should I do that? And you'll get a little bit closer to it. So the takeaway that I have for you from this episode is more just that shift in expectations. It's not going to feel incredible all the time. You're not going to be up to it all the time. This is not a sign that it's not for you or that you're doing something wrong. It's just a normal thing. It's normal that you're supposed to be feeling like this. So in my next episode, if you're interested in checking that out, will be talking about your why and why. I'll be talking about finding your why and what really motivates you at a particular level in your journey, and why sometimes looking up to people that are at the top of their game is actually not really helping you at all. So thanks for tuning into this episode. Let me know what you think about the rule of thirds. Do you think that it's realistic to expect that? Do you think it's maybe a little bit pessimistic, knowing that it's not going to feel great all the time? Do you have a better way for yourself to stay motivated? Leave me some comments. I'd love to discuss this. And thanks for checking out this episode, and I'll see you next time.